Hello musicians, today I'm going to do a breakdown of a movement you can use before you do a 2-5-1 progression. So this movement I'm going to do is going to help you to get to the 2 before you do your 2-5-1 movement. I'm going to be in the key of E flat. I will use the song called Yahweh, Miracle Worker, which was originally done by Miss Gloria Brahima featuring Nathaniel Bassi, but Mr. Myron Williams did his own version. And the keys player does this nice movement to get you to the 2. And so I'm going to play and I'm going to break it down. The concept basically is using diminished triads in their second inversion with drop 2 voicings in this movement. So let me play the song, just the part that I want, and then I'll break it down. Let's hear it.
I hear this in the spirit. Miracle worker.
There was the movement. Yeah. So we used the movement we did before we did a 2-5-1 in the key of E flat, which is F, B flat, and E flat. For beginners, some of the things I'm gonna break down in this video may not make sense for now, but stick with me. You're gonna need some of these movements as you grow in your playing. So don't put pressure on yourself. No pressure at all. You can still watch this video, but just be patient with yourself. You focus on learning, understanding your scales, your major scales, your major triads, minor triads, diminished triads, augmented triads, that kind of a thing. And then eventually, as you progress to becoming an intermediate, advanced player, you will come back and have to use some of these movements. And if you're advanced or if you're intermediate, yeah, you're going to definitely need some of these diminished movements in your arsenal. Because it's just great to build your vocabulary. So the movement is basically about taking a diminished triad and then you put it in its second inversion, and then you use a drop 2 voicing to make this movement. And that's what's going to happen with all the diminished triads that we're going to use. The movement follows the melody like this. It's an F, E flat, G, C, B flat, A flat, and G. In the key of E flat, that will be 2, 1, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. And there's a bonus chord at the end that I'm going to give you, which is so nice. That chord is just, it took me a bit of a time to figure it out, but it's so cute. I don't know if that's a great way of describing a chord, but you get me. So you take what you do basically, we're dressing this melody with diminished chords. Right, we take diminished chords, diminished triads, not diminished sevens, but diminished triads, and then we put them in their second inversion, and then we use a drop 2. Now, the first chord with the first melody is basically a D diminished triad, like this. We put it in its second inversion, like this. The drop 2 voicing is about taking the second highest note in the chord, which is D, and then we drop it down here. And so we end up with D, A flat, and F. So that's the first chord. The second chord is a C triad, diminished triad, in its second inversion again. So root position, first inversion, second inversion. We drop the second voice or the second note in that chord, which is C. And then we have this open sound. And then the third chord is a B diminished triad again in its second inversion. Take the second highest note and then you have a drop 2. You put it down, you have a drop 2. And then the third chord. So we have, and now the fourth chord, is it the fourth? 1, 2, 3, 4, yeah. The fourth chord that we have now is an A diminished triad in its second inversion again. This is root position, first inversion, second inversion, drop 2, take the second highest note like that, which is A, and drop it down here. And then the fifth chord that we have is a G diminished triad. So you see, it needs second inversion. Take the second highest note with it, which is G, and drop it down like that. And then the last chord on diminished chords is basically an F diminished triad. It needs second inversion. Yeah. I take the second highest note, which is F, drop it down. Now the last chord to cover that G, you remember we said the melodies. Now that melody on G is not covered by a diminished chord. This is where it gets so spicy and so nice. It's basically an E flat minor 7 or minor 11th if you want, but the only twist to that is that it has a sharp 11 to it. It's so cool. It's this chord here. So you see, you have your E, G, A, B, D, and then G, which is our melody. But then you add that E flat, and it creates this like flat 5 or sharp 11 to the chord, and so it's so dissonant, and it's so tricky to hear. Really like quite tricky to pick out in the ear, because there is this tritone within the chord. It's a minor chord which is a tritone into it. So to begin from the top, the whole melody is. So from this part up to A flat, they're all diminished chords, and on G we have that nice minor 11th with well, minor, let's say minor 11th, the flat 5, or if you want you can say yeah, let's say it's a minor 11th, the flat 5, the E minor 11 with the flat 5 here, and then you go to the 2, 5, 1. Yeah, you see that chord? E, G, A, B flat, B, D, G. And then 2, which is like I'm playing a minor 7 there on F. And then I'm playing what chord am I playing? It's a B flat sus. It's a B flat 7 sus. And then I get myself back to E flat. Come and do a miracle today. You know. Lord, I worship you because of who you are. You can find different contexts and songs you can put it. What we can take is that this song, you can use it to get before a 2-5-1 movement. Let me give you a quick tip before I finish this video. Now, to make it your own, you don't have to do every time. You don't always have to do this. It doesn't always have to be like that. Now, you can take this and make it your own. You don't always have to start on that D diminished. What if you just decided to do this, to do something like... So what did I do? I started on G diminished, and then F diminished, and then I went to that nice E11, E minor 11 with a sharp, with a flat 5, and then 2, 5, 1. Or maybe I could just start on F and just do this. So it depends on the song, because some songs it may not allow you to do this long run like that. You see, you may just want to take it just take a little bit of it, or sometimes you can just go straight to that nice chord I showed you. Now you're developing vocabulary, you are owning the movement. We transcribed it, but now we're not just gonna clone and become robots and just use it exactly as it is, but we own it and we put it as part of our armor, so that we're building more vocabulary. Now I got so many options from that part I was playing. I could just start from that A diminished triad and do this. Yeah. So this is how we develop our own vocabulary and we build it up, and we develop our own style if you want. So I hope you learned something from this video. I think I'll probably do a separate video just like explaining what the concept of drop to voicings is actually, because I feel like I probably rushed the whole thing here, but I hope you got something from it. Let me just play a little bit before I go.